Today we'll be establishing the baseline for the test using a pre-test. We're going to be getting Josh to juggle the ball 3 times, and after every time he fails, we're going to count how many times he's managed to juggle the ball consecutively. Week 1 mainly focuses on improving the quality of the action because, as we've seen in our pre-test, the quantitative amount of juggles that Josh was able to achieve wasn't too many, and in order to improve the quantity we need to also improve the quality. So we've done this by splitting into some part practice. So the main focus for today is just practicing just on the dominant foot, and then session 2 of week 1 will be on the non-dominant foot, so it'll just be juggling on the 1 foot. So what this is for is, if you can improve the quality of just 1 foot at a time, we'll later be able to integrate it.
Drill 1 for week 1 was simply just kicking the ball and catching it on your dominant foot, which is my right foot. Then we followed up that drill by kicking it and trying to keep it up 3 times, and then catching it again. And then for the 3rd drill, we just simply try to kick as many times, like juggling it as many times as possible on our dominant foot. Week 1 and session 2, it was exactly the same drills as we did in the first session, except this time we're using our non-dominant foot.
Week 2 is based on last week's session, where in week 1 we practiced on each individual foot. So week 2 we're combining the 2 skills together now to juggle the soccer ball using alternating feet. What this will do, this will improve Josh's quality of movement in terms of it'll improve his weight distribution and balance. So from moving from 1 foot back onto the other and so forth, improving his balance will hopefully improve his centre of gravity, meaning that he'll be able to take better control of the ball, hopefully improving the quantity of juggles that he's able to do.
2, we focused on 3 drills. The first was combining a right, left, right and catching, and then just swapping, so you'd go left, right, left again, and then right, left, right. And the second drill we focused on was dropping the ball again, but doing 2 touches on each side and then catching. And then the 3rd drill was simply just alternating feet, left, right, for as long as possible.
Alright, so week 3 we introduced a new focus, which is thigh juggling. Thigh juggling is an important skill in juggling the soccer ball because when the ball's higher up in the air, it's easy to use the thigh to control the ball. Also, practicing thigh juggling helps balance, because generally when people thigh the ball, it opens the chest and opens the body up, lifts the shoulders back. The thigh is also a large and soft surface, so when the ball's sort of flying all over the place, it's easy to use the thigh to just bring it back down into control and start juggling with the feet again.
Alright, so for week 3, the drills we focused on was kicking the ball high, then thighing it and catching it. And then the other was just juggling on the thighs.
Alright, so week 4 was main focus on combining or alternating movements. So more or less we're moving more towards the whole practice scheme of things. So what this is based on is improving weight distribution and balance and a better fluency of movement. So week 4 also focused a fair bit more on the thighs as well, as it was a newer skill.
So emphasis for week 4 was simply just kick, thigh, kick, so catch. And then for the other drill, we just simply tried to work on incorporating thigh and feet together in continuous juggling. Like so.
Okay, so week 5, we incorporated heading into the juggling. So headering the ball isn't a commonly used skill in juggling, however it's still important. When the ball's kicked higher up in the air, it's easiest to regain control if you get heading is practiced. So the benefit of having now introduced heading is we can use whole practice as an exercise too, because all the main body parts are being used.
So first drill we focused on for week 5 was just simply headering the ball and catching it. Then for the second drill it was just basically the same thing, except we start kicking and headering and catching.
So today we're doing the post test for Josh's juggling. Now we're trying to keep all the regulatory conditions the same. So we're using the same ball, Josh is wearing the same shoes, and also in the same location to where we did the pre-test. The only difference, however, is today there's a little bit of rain, so unfortunately that's a non-read condition which we can't change. Hopefully it doesn't affect the results too much.
The training program was good, it was well structured and easy to follow. It contained both visual and auditory stimuli that I like when I'm learning. Unfortunately, I only saw Julian once a week, which made it very hard to get feedback from him. But when I saw him, he made sure I understood what I had to do for the week coming, which was great. And as you can see from my post-test results, I improved my socket juggling dramatically.
Okay, so the results showed that in the pre-test, Josh was only able to perform 3, 2 and 4 juggles, which averaged out to 3. Or in the post-test, there was a 1,300% increase, where he was able to perform 46, 38 and 35 juggles, which averaged out to 40 juggles. We found that Josh's quality of movement, in particular in the early weeks, improved significantly. However, the amount of juggles he did only improved slightly. While we noticed in the last 2 weeks as well that his technique and the quality of his movement in juggling didn't really increase too much. However, in the last 2 weeks, the quantity really improved. So he was able to perform a lot more in the last 2 weeks rather than the small increase at the start. We also noticed that each week, one thing that we found hard was, because we live far apart, we only could see each other once a week at uni, so that made it a bit more difficult to coach. So every once a week, I would coach Josh, just watch him juggle, coach 1 or 2 key points for him to focus on, and then he'd perform the rest of his sessions at home independently, where he'd just try to focus on those few aspects. The only thing I would have liked to have changed, if there was something, was to spend maybe 1 more session with Josh per week coaching him. So, for instance, rather than seeing him once a week and getting him to do everything independently, I'd maybe monitor his progress twice a week. But other than that, the program itself I found proved to be a success.